We are back, season 2, episode 8, Mom's Off Mute. I'm having coffee with Jana and Cindy today. How are y'all doing? Let's start there. How is the digital parenting world going in your households?
It's great. So easy.
I'm a little worried.
If I don't look, does it count?
As the Family Online Safety Institute professional, I don't encourage you to not look. But mom to mom, I get it. I think where I'm struggling, and maybe you two can help me out with, I think I push so much of the fun, not fun. How do I say this? Screen time can have benefits, right? Like there are good things about screen time and learning and things like that. I don't use that. I put on the 5 same movies on Disney Plus. It's used as a distraction, not as a learning tool or something that we can do together quite often, or a connection for talking to their grandmothers or something like that. I don't know how to fit it in for the good benefits for my 4 and 3-year-old,
I think at school they're going to use technology as all the learning benefits. I don't think that technology always has to have a learning benefit. Just being exposed to using electronics and becoming savvy is a good tool for them in moderation. Everything in moderation.
Sorry, Cindy, do you mind telling us your household, how it's set up? So mine is myself, my 4 and 3-year-old. I have a dog, but that rarely comes into play with the digital parenting aspect. I have an au pair, and my husband works in a different city 4 to 5 days a week. So I do most of the physical and digital parenting myself, or I take charge. So how is your house set up?
I work. My husband is home for a few months of the year, and then he's gone. And when he's gone, I still work. So he's in control for a few months. And then when he's gone, I'm in control. We have a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old and a dog. And honestly, the dog is watching entirely too much TV lately. But the person, the keeper of the rules and the technology changes depending on the time of year because my husband's work is seasonal. So I do think that our family gets a different experience from the two of us and who's controlling it at what time.
Do you have girls, or do you have a boy?
I have a boy and a girl. Yes, I have one of each, and they're very close. They're a little over 2 years apart, close in age, and they're into the same thing. So at least I don't have that complication of they're into different things, and it's so many. They're always playing the same games. I'm able to check out the same games at the same time. So I'm really fortunate. I have easy kids. I don't have, impulse control and things like that to deal with. So I'm really blessed in that when I give my kids electronics and I kind of say that you need to use this and you need to be done at this time and you can't overdo it. They're good listeners like that. So can't complain too much.
Jana, I said we needed diversity in the conversation. I didn't say bring another mom who is engaged and has normal kids. I need somebody here who's ready to pull their hair out because they don't have a listener. We've had everyone on here is I have got great kids. And our listeners are probably oh, turn it off.
I'm always worried about stuff I have concerns. My kids like to play video games too much. The problem is they're straight A students and they come straight home and do their homework first and they've checked all the boxes and then I'm like, well, did you do this? I see your own video games. They're like, yeah, I did. So what do I do? They're active, they play sports, they're socializing. So I do feel like I never catch my kids in the middle of the night playing video games or scrolling on their phone when they're supposed to be asleep. So I can't complain, but I do have concerns just like any other parent. I want to make sure what they're being exposed to, that they're really critically thinking and they're not being brainwashed by dangerous groups that are making videos. And there's always things to check up on. Are my kids sending messages on social media that are offensive? You can never sleep on it. Even if you have great kids, you always need to just 20 minutes a week think, "What am I doing? Did I delete those pictures that I posted? Make sure I'm not overexposing my kid." All these you just need, like, check, check. No matter how good you think you have it, you've forgotten something.
So what is your version of like checking? Because that's like a good point, right? Like, do you have parental control? So like it pops up on your phone if they want to download something new or they want to watch something new, or do you're like, I have good kids. I've told them the rules of the phone, the screens, all those things they play, and I just check in periodically. Like, how does that work?
So my kids' phones, they if they want to download an app, they are they need to ask first. It will send a request to my husband. Now, my daughter has been savvy and sometimes downloaded things, and she doesn't wait for the parental control to go through. Um, and like we'll say something to her about it, and she'll we'll have to like go through the app and see if it's okay. They don't download a ton of apps, so this isn't like an ongoing problem or anything like that. So it's easier to keep up with. They're not like, I have a brand new game and I have this and I have they're not shopping apps all the time, so it's easier to keep track of. We do not allow them to use face recognition or thumbprint on their phone. We can always unlock their phone. We look at their phones all the time just to make sure, like, what my husband can see through his phone about their phone is accurate. We're always just, yeah, we unlock and we look in there and we see. So if I want to look through my kids' text messages, I can if I have reason to. I've not in a long time. I feel like it was a growing trust. They get a phone, I'm all over it, and then as the years go by, I'm not looking at something unless I have reason to. If I suspected that were you were on your phone too much, I'll look into your hours and see, and I'll if I thought maybe there was a conversation between somebody that I need to look at, I'll go into their messages. But as the years go on, the trust is built that they are using all of their technology correctly, and I check less often.
As a background, because she is so relatively strict, when my son wants something, his favorite saying is like, "Oh, but Cindy's kids have it, so she checked it. It's okay, mom."
That's a good bar.
I tell the kids everything you download on your phone, they're giving it to you for free for a reason. They're taking everything from you. They're getting your information. They're seeing where you live, where your phone is all the time, how you're using your phone. When you shop in a store, it's looking at where you're standing, and it's calculating what the aisle is and what the item was you're interested in. These apps are selling all this and making so much money off of your personal day-to-day activity. They know you have a brother, a sister, they know so much by just getting into your phone. They know what video you're scrolling through. They know everything and they're selling it. And so when you let an app into your phone, you are letting them see everything about you. So we don't want to just let anyone in. We have to check them out.
What's your concern about like the facial recognition in the phone? You're making the assumption that it's keeping that information, or you just like don't want them to get in the habit of like doing that anywhere?
I don't want them to give out their data. I don't want, the biometrics, the eyes, I don't do it. I don't want my kids to do it. But also, I don't want to be locked out of any device. So their password has to be what we establish it is, and they're not allowed to change it without having a conversation with us. And like, oh, they want to change their code. Okay, but we need to know it because I have to be able to remember everyone's code and get into their phone. So I'll respect their privacy. I'm still their parent and I'm responsible. Like something happens, I do need to check up on things. I need to be able to get into their phone. So while they can shut their door to their bedroom and I respect their privacy, they are still my child and I need to be able to get into their room if there's reason. So it's the same thing with the phone. I don't want them to have it. It's like me locked out of it or my husband locked out of it.
That's a really good correlation. Yana, do you have an open door policy in your house or can he shut it?
He can shut it, and I shut it for him, but he's loud.
So do you do the same thing with the phone?
I am the keeper of passwords just for that reason, because, but it's more that he's like me, who's like gets locked out of something, changes it, and then never remembers it. So we have it in the same space, our passwords. So I know how to get in. However, I do, like Cindy, I respect the boundaries, and I'm not so on top of it. And I ask him first, before I check the phone. If I don't like some things, like recently, all those gaming apps, not the gamings, the betting apps that are being so heavily targeted towards teenagers, they're a huge problem.
It's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
They make fun little games that young people want, way too young.
Yep. And he has friends who are in debt who spend a lot of money.
Like kids like his age?
Yes, teenagers are gambling.
It's a real problem. And when I ask him, I was like, well, because the parents allowed to tap on their phone. I'm like, but how do they pay for it? Because you have to preload per Apple Pay. But yeah, you put like $50 in and you spend it on one bet. So it's, and if you don't really think about it, you just preload from whatever your savings have it linked to. And that's it. And that's a lot of money for it. It's becoming a very big problem for teenagers.
That's so wild to me because like gambling is illegal for anyone under the age. Isn't it 18? Like I feel like it's 18. So I just don't understand how that even happens. So
The same way they get all of the apps. They're not all of these apps are restricted by age. All of the social media, they're supposed to be of an age. They do it anyway.
And there's this new app that is now doing predictions in like stocks and market instead of betting, and that's how they get around the restrictions for betting. That's the new thing.
And they'll do predictions on anything. It's not just sports, it's absolutely anything. It's like, will this happen today? Gambling is a disease. I talk to my kids about it. It's just like anything. You have to talk to your kids about drugs and alcohol. You have to talk to them about gambling. You have to talk to them about the dangers online. You can't just protect them. They have to have conversations and learn and protect themselves.
yeah, I've never thought about the gambling aspect. Obviously, like they're 4 and 3. Like it's just not completely out of my mind. But going back to this, I remember Yana, you said on our episode with Dara that your son had his first phone when he was 5. Cindy, when did you give your kids their first phone and why?
Oh, I don't even remember. It was early. I think it was probably 10, somewhere in there, and they had phones that were not connected initially. So just a Wi-Fi phone at home that they could text message with, and it wasn't hooked up to they didn't have a plan until they were older. And this was younger than needed, but they did have friends that, like, my kids are friends with Yana's son, and they had phones and they seemed to be managing them well. And I didn't see a reason not. Also, in the town where we live, my kids started walking around by themselves fairly young. So I wanted them to have a phone. So that's when we started connecting the phones and having them have their own phone. Because if they're walking around town by themselves, I want them to be able to call me if something happens.
No, that's fair. So when did you start social media for your kids?
My kids started social media on their own, so different ages. My son, he was probably 14 when he actually was Snapchatting. Everyone's kind of just clicking and hitting this, like, you got to post a picture and then you're keeping up your status. I really want my kids to hear me trying to talk about this so they can laugh at how mom doesn't know any of the terminology. Other people are doing it. So then he probably was late to the game. My daughter, she was starting at like 11. She wanted that. And she would put, I want to be with the group. And she would start setting records or sprees or whatever they're called. And you got to go a whole year with snapping back and forth with somebody. And we didn't want our kids on social media, but this was something that all of their friends are doing. So, okay, let's not be those people that are like anti anything technology, let's find out about it. So we would keep an eye on it, see what they make sure they're not overusing it, make sure they're not on it too much time, and just let let them be the guide of how they want to use social media. I didn't want their real name. Part of the like disappearing picture thing seemed ideal to me. So it wasn't like they're creating a guidebook of how to steal their identity and stuff like that on like other social media sites. So it was a slow roll into it. They don't really get on Snapchat anymore, so we don't really have to worry about it, but they barely do anything on social media. It's just not,
They're more in the gamer world, like they're doing the chat.
yeah, yeah, they were never big. They were not going to post on social media. They're not attention seekers. They're kind of just watchers.
Well, not my son.
Right, we watch your son. There are kids that they know that they're creating content and they watch it.
So, coffee chat conversation, because all of the things that you're saying, Cindy, being perfectly honest, sound like what we essentially coach, teach, educate, learn, all family online safety. Like, talk to your kids about gambling, talk to your kids about all these things, because in person, online, all of these things are real life things. However, you sound like it sounds exhausting. Like the amount of things is like, talk to your kids about this, do this. You have two kids. It's boy, girl. Our research shows like there are differences between girls online and boys online, just like their society treats girls and boys differently in real life. So I'm just curious, like how you I hate the word balance, but like it truly is. Like, how do you navigate all of that? Like, what do you have a secret sauce? Because like I'm not staying up till midnight researching these apps. Like, I'm just not. Oh, did you take the parenting quiz?
I did.
Oh, what did it say you are?
I got the Explorer.
Oh, we haven't had an explorer on yet. Do you think it's true?
I don't know. I mean, sure. I didn't really like, I took the test and I felt like my answers were kind of, they were mixed, but I got the most, I think it was D's. So I was the Explorer. I think I was glad to get that I was the Explorer because sometimes I feel like I'm too hyper and too controlling about all of this, like protecting my kids and um I want to be more laid back about it, so I liked that I got the Explorer. I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I didn't get, like, Hyper Mom." I thought I was gonna get that.
I am the firewall, a proud firewall. The answer is no until I've decided that it's yes, because as you all know, you've had a 4 and a 3-year-old. It's too much.
I think with the ages, it changes with age. It change your mentality about it changes with age because, like, the most dangerous thing going on is different by age. So I've reached with teens the age where it's like it's more about what they're doing and how they're doing it and how often. That's more the danger. I'm not as worried about some of the other things that I was worried about early on.
So, do you use like an app or a tool or anything to help you manage all of these things? Because I'm assuming your kids, as you said, they're gamers, but they also have school. They have school activities. They have friends. They have all of these things. Like Jana was telling me, I believe you said like he had friends online, but he also has friends in real life. And then he, of course, has teammates because he's on like teams and stuff. Like, how do you all manage all of this? Because for me, I'm tired of all of the birthday parties, the friends' names, remembering all of the parents. And then it's like, just like, then they have friends online that I have to manage when they get older too. Like, that's a lot.
We don't have any online friends in this
Okay,
family.
that's
I
good.
I didn't know, Yana, that your son has online friends.
Yeah, he has since COVID actually. He found some through friends, common friends. He found that's how he survived COVID and kept his sanity. So he made some new friends that he still sometimes visits. But to your point, we are very fortunate to live in a walkable city, that is a city. so they can do a lot of things themselves. We don't have to drive them. We don't have to bring them anywhere, which I think makes a very big difference. And they manage them. At some point, you just, just like, okay, you're old enough, you manage it. If you need me to buy a birthday card for some birthday, you tell me. It's you just do that. And I'm horrible with names, so I just say, hey, and then I look at another mom and say, like, who's that? I ask someone else. I don't. You know your boundaries, you know your limitations. I know them very well, and you just go with the flow and just let life be.
Okay. Does the school stop emailing you asking for you to bring stuff at a certain point? Because like that's getting exhausting too.
No,
No?
that's like laundry. It never ends. You will always get
Oh,
emails from
oh my
school, a
God.
lot of emails to read, and you just read them and read them. And there's always a spirit week, and you always need a yellow shirt for something. It doesn't end.
Or you
It's
delete it.
always, I need a yellow shirt tomorrow. Who has a yellow shirt? I don't.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a good question. Do you do public school or do you have charter school, private school? What's your structure?
My kids go to public school.
Okay.
Same.
So it's literally no difference. It's still a lot going on. Like one of the teachers got married, and I was like, if we have a gift list for the teacher getting married, I'm going to lose it. But then I'm like, I do want to acknowledge that, she has this milestone, but at the same time, I don't have time for another email or another ask. So congrats to you.
Wait till your kids are at two different schools. That's just, you need a spreadsheet and like send this PTO money, send that PTO money, that teacher appreciation week, this teacher appreciation. And we really, really do, because I don't want to teach my kids. And I'm really glad that the teachers are there. So I do send the Venmo to the collector. And also thank you to that collector parent. I appreciate them as well, because they're collecting and arranging the gift. All I had to
Those
do was
room
remember
moms.
to, yes, yes.
Shout out to the room parents, man. Yes. I signed up for I didn't sign up. I was voluntold for a field day situation, and I had to do the preschoolers had to do the snacks. And the way that it's supposed to work is like I'm the lead. So I'm supposed to reach out to the room parents, and the room parents kind of get the parents together and say, "Hey, you get 50 goldfish, you get 50 popsicles, you do this." And I waited until the last minute, knowing for a year now that I had to do this. And I said, I don't want to go to the school and wait for so and so to bring 50 popsicles. And then this person brings another 50 popsicles. What if their popsicles melt? So I said, group project. Nope. I'm just going to go to Costco and send it there. And good thing that my husband was also coming in early on a Thursday. I was like, you can drop it off. I'm asleep. So yeah, use my own resources. And they were like, well, you're supposed to lean on your community. I was like, the community is tired. The community has decided that it's entirely too much, and I'm not going to bother anybody. It was 10 times
Your
easier for me
community
to just
appreciated that.
send the goldfish in the water for field day, and it rained. So there was that too.
I love a field day though. That's the best.
Yes, field day is awesome. So Jana, what's the takeaway here? Find a good community that remembers the kids' names online and offline.
Yeah, you need a friend like Cindy. That's honestly, that is the biggest thing. She's thanks to her, I survive in my community because she always knows the names or knows a way to find out.
I find them out. I can't remember them.
Yeah. Or when there is an event or something, I just ask her. Or when I have questions about like who's teacher, what class, whatever, I ask her. My son asks her. So you need a friend like that.
Need a friend. Well, Cindy, thank you for joining the digital parenting community. I hope people can follow your lead because, like, man, you seem to have it together. I'm going to be a firewall for a little bit longer. Maybe I'll turn into an explorer or a mentor. But for now, they're just going to keep watching Frozen over and over again while I do laundry.
Great movie.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Jana, for inviting Cindy. This was a really fun chat. If you want any more tips, tricks, tools, what have you, want to take the quiz, join us at fosi.org, fosi.org. Like, subscribe, download, and just share this with your digital or in-person community. Lots of really helpful things. And Cindy, in honor of you, I am going to send a couple of FOSI's members an email just so they can give me a script or like update me on like how they collect data, what they use it for, when they delete it, and all that good stuff, so that I can share it just to put everyone's thoughts at ease. All right. Thank you guys so much. This podcast is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional advice, including medical, mental health, or legal guidance. The views expressed by hosts and or guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the Family Online Safety Institute, otherwise known as FOSI. Guest contributions are based on personal experience and are not intended as professional guidance. Any mention of products, services, organizations, or tools is for discussion purposes only and does not constitute an endorsement by the Family Online Safety Institute